Hey up troops, A Littleton here again with another video. Oh, that comes Keen. And this time, we're looking at Zero. Now, I know I said thank you on the last video, but I want to get this in right now. Today, we got accepted into the YouTube Partner Program, and a massive, massive thank you to all of you who subscribed and watched the videos. We've been putting these on since sort of mid-January, and to get YouTube Partner in such a short space of time, thank you so much. I might make the videos, but they're nothing if nobody watches them, so thank you very much. Now, I know I've talked about other operators and called them super strong. For me, Zero is the strongest attacker in Siege at the minute. The reason I say that is because he's not the best at one particular thing, but he can do everything. He has unbelievably strong guns. He has a Gun 6 to destroy utility. He has 4 cameras to do flank watch or to destroy utility as well. He also has hard breach charges on top of that. All of that coupled together for me make him the strongest attacker. I don't think he's the strongest at one particular role, but I think encompassing everything is the most well-rounded attacker that's in the game at the minute. When Zero was first released, I thought he was going to be more of like a Thatcher alternative, whereas I think now, even though he still can do that, he still can destroy the utility if you can get the camera down and shoot the utility, obviously. I still think his best role is just intel gathering, putting cams up that then you don't have to use drones for. You can then use your drones in different parts of the map. Just for a change, we'll stick with the same format. We'll go through the loadout to begin with, then we'll go through the basics of the utility, and then we'll talk about a couple of tricks. Then we'll get into some rank maps where I think Zero is so good. If you already know the basics, have a look at the timeline below. I'll put the timestamps in there. Jump to what you want to see. Hopefully you'll still learn something. It's enough of me waffling on. Let's get stuck into it. So we'll start as always by looking at Zero's loadout, and it really is worth a conversation. So his two main weapons are the SC3000K and the MP7, which you'll know from playing Bandit. Now, the difference is with Zero's MP7 is you can put the 1.5 times on it, which people really like. As much as I love playing Bandit and using the MP7, I personally think the SC3000K is one of my favourite weapons to use in the game. The recoil's really low. It sounds good. I know that's not normally a big factor, but it sounds great. The recoil's pretty low. You can have all the different scopes you could ever want in your entire life. And it's really high damage really for the fire rate. It's 45 damage, 800 fire rate. It's a really, really solid weapon. I personally go 2x vert grip and flash hider. Sometimes I'll change the angled because the recoil's really not that bad, but for me these days there really isn't a massive difference between the angled and the vert grip in terms of the ADS speed, which is what the angled grip, the benefit that the angled grip gives you. The reduced recoil for me is more worth it from the vert grip. But yeah, I mean, obviously scopes, it's up to you. I sometimes switch with the 1.5, but I like the 2x on this gun. But yeah, in terms of moving on from there, I always go Gun 6 and hard breach charge. If you take, it doesn't really matter on the weapon, but if you take the Gun 6 and the hard breach charge, there's nothing that Zero can't do. He's probably got the best utility in the game, in my opinion, in terms of primary weapon, amazing. Take a Gun 6 if you want to clear shields or castle barricades or whatever it might be, and you can get in walls that are reinforced as long as they aren't electrified. The guy can do everything. But for me, SC3000K, Gun 6, and hard breach charge. So starting with the basics of what Zero's gadget does, he gets this, which is called an Argus launcher, and it fires Argus cameras, or SAM cams, or Zero cams, whatever you wish to call them. Now, Zero gets 4 of these, and they're really, really strong. What they can do is you fire them at, you can fire them on any surface. You can fire them on a wall like this, it'll just stick to the wall, but you can also fire them at soft walls, or even reinforced walls, like this. Now, on the wall, which is this one, it acts just as a normal cam. When you fire it at soft walls or reinforced walls, once it hits, as you'll see here, it's come through to the other side of the wall. You can actually press space to flick between which side of the wall you want to look at, okay? That is unbelievably strong. Now, you can still see that it's there, and when we flick it around to the other side, the visuals of it don't change, so you can still see it looks like that. Just the camera internally switch which way around in the wall it wants to look at. You can do exactly the same with soft walls and soft hatches. So that has now gone down into the floor below. You can bring it back up to look at 90 again if you want to. And the beauty of these cameras as well is they can fire one laser. Much like a Twitch drone, but you only get one shot, as you see down on the bottom right. So if we look up at this cam, you fire the shot. Now it does have a cooldown period, and when that cooldown period's finished, you'll be able to fire another shot. But you only get one at a time. I'm going to try and keep talking momentarily until this recharges. And as you'll see down on the bottom right here, it's recharged. And we get another one. The cooldown period is quite a long time, but you only get one shot at a time. the gadget is insane. I honestly think it's one of the best attacking gadgets because it can do loads of different things. It can destroy other gadgets. It can flank watch. You can cause a distraction with it. I personally quite like the sound that it puts out. This noise. That sort of squeak. That for me, when I'm defending and I hear that go off and I don't know where the camera is, it puts the fear of God into me. But yeah, they're just an unbelievably really strong gadget. So just a couple of things to talk about the launcher itself. You'll see the crosshair with that sort of downward pointing large sort of chevron arrow underneath. That only appears when the camera will go onto a surface. If you point away into the sky, that'll disappear into that sort of 2 straight lines, and when you bring it onto a surface, it'll go onto that chevron again. You can still shoot the cameras into the distance, and obviously they'll just break up when they get to the edge of the map. So just make sure that chevron is pointing down. Obviously, when it's on the floor, any other surface is fine. But as soon as you're not going to hit that, it'll disappear into that sort of chevron instead. Just one thing I want to say about Zero's role is when Zero was first released, I thought he was going to be kind of like a Thatcher alternative with the way he could destroy utility. Which, don't get me wrong, he can do a job of, but I don't think that's his best role. His best role for me is taking control of main stairs, for example, banging a cam up there, and being able to hold the flank and have a cam without having to worry about drones. You know, if you're a defender, there's absolutely no way you're looking up there for a cam, you know, because we know it's there, you can see it, but if you're defending, you're certainly not looking for that. It's far more less conspicuous than having a drone on these shelves or a drone here or whatever it might be. But that's definitely his best role, in my opinion, as a sort of flank watch and an intel gatherer rather than a utility destroyer. Yes, he can destroy utility as well, and he does do an alright job at that. I just don't think that's his strongest role. Definitely intel gathering for me. So just one thing of note that's actually going to change from when I record this video to when the new patch comes out. I'm recording this on Sunday the 13th of March. The new season comes out on the 15th of March. Presently, when you fire an Argus cam at a wall, either a soft wall or a reinforced wall, that Argus cam will go on the other side of the wall as default, like this. Now, the reason that's important to see, and I won't be able to show you with the Zero on my own here, but when you're on the cam, much like when you're on a drone and it lights up, these 3 lights in the front here, when you're on the camera, they light up, so it's a bit easier to see. However, as of the change coming on the new season, when you fire a cam at a wall, it will stay on the side of the wall that you fired it from. So in this case, we fired it from the corridor here. It'll stay this side, so the green light will be facing this direction until you hit space and flick it around to see the other way. But that isn't the case at the minute, and it hasn't been the case for him since launch. As of Tuesday, when the new patch notes comes out and the new season comes out, that will be in effect. So it'll stay on the same side of the wall or the floor that you fired it at. So probably the biggest tip I can give you when it comes to using Zero is when you think about placing your cameras, utilize the fact that the camera can see both sides of the wall. So when we're attacking Aviator games on Villa, I always come to this side first. This is the north side of the map. I rappel up onto Astro window. Punch out the barricade. Obviously, we drone in Astro first to make sure I can punch this out. And when you place your camera, I always try and get it as far up in that top right-hand corner as I can. Now, with that one camera, I can now do a roam clear or give intel on a roam clear from Trophy. I can see a little bit of statue and split, but obviously we can come back around this way and we can see Astro. This can then also act as a flank cam. Not a particularly great flank cam because you want to know if they're at the bottom of the stairs, not the top of the stairs. But it can also act as a flank cam from here, and it can go back to the other side of the wall to make sure we're clear there, and then back and vice versa. So when it comes to placing those cameras, really make sure that you take advantage of the fact that they can go both sides. I always put one down here as well to watch the red flank. This camera here will be able to see the bottom of red stairs, so you can see if anyone goes up there late in a round. They're never going to see this cam here anyway. That's just another little tip I'll give you. But yeah, when it comes to placing the cams, make sure you take advantage. Obviously, it's not going to happen all the time. What I sometimes do is on this site as well, and I'll go through this in the site setups, I'll actually put a Zero cam here. Now, that can't go on both sides of the wall, obviously, but that's just a great permanent flank cam for Astro stairs there. So yeah, when it comes to placing them, just make sure you take advantage of the fact that it can go through both sides of the wall, or don't forget, both sides of the floor as well. Don't forget when it comes to firing the cams, let's just say we want to get into this wall here on Villa, and this is reinforced and electrified. We can also fire it through drone holes, it still fits through, so you want to just make sure you miss this bag here when you're firing it through this as an example. But we come through to here. Remember, it'll be the other way through the wall. However, with the release of the new season on the 15th of March, this won't be the case. Comes back through to the other side, and then we can get the denial off this wall. If it's a mute jammer, we might be muted here, although I think we'd be okay. Oh, hello, Sam. Or if it's a bandit battery or a K-claw, obviously that's then gone, and we can open this wall. So don't just think it's it's dead to rights if this is electrified. Just get a bit more creative where you place it. One thing that's going to make you a much better Zero player is if you learn the vertical angles of the places where you might need to get denial off or where useful cams are going to be, because placing them on floors is far less conspicuous. Let's just say we're in Vault here, and instead of firing through the drone hole, you want to fire it onto the floor because this is muted, for example. So you want to be firing it onto the soft wall over on 1 ping. What you can do from there, I've gone through the wall here. What you can do from there then is find out where 1 ping is, fire that in the floor here, pop it out on the other side of the vault, and now if that wall was muted, we're well out of the range of a mute jammer now. We can destroy it from here. So try and learn from a... But obviously this also helps with grenading and stuff, but let's just say there was something behind the bar. I know that this is behind the bar here. Could fire that here, pop it through the other side. We're now behind the bar. So just learn where the vertical angles are, and if there's an item of utility that you need to destroy from there, or you want to get a better angle for a cam, learning the verticality of it's going to make you a better Zero player. So don't forget that if a wall's electrified, let's just pretend this is all electrified at the minute. Buzz. On some walls in Siege, the reinforcement only goes sort of 75% of the way, 80% of the way up the wall. So if this was electrified, there are some walls, like this one here on theme. There's quite a few on theme. It's the same here on the maintenance wall, the barrels wall as well. This is actually soft above the reinforcement, so this won't be electrified. So if you needed to, you could still get a cam above these type of walls as well. With the electrification being below, you could then destroy what's below, whether it's a bandit battery or a cave claw, whatever it might be. So look out for these walls which have got that sort of extended bit above the reinforcement as well. So there are a couple of counters to Zero's cameras, and it's mainly the catching operators, so Jaeger and Wamai. Jaeger's ADSs will actually snag these out of the air. Example 1, example 2. However, just bear in mind that you could also technically use that to your advantage if you had to burn an ADS. Obviously, a flashbang would be much more preferred, but if you had to burn an ADS, you could use Zero's cams to burn it if you needed to grenade somebody in a certain area of the map or whatever it might be. But yeah, they will snag them out the air. So the other counter to Zero are Wamai discs. However, it's slightly different to ADSs. So a Wamai disc will catch one of Sam's cams. As you can see, it'll drag it in there. However, once the magnet gets destroyed, the camera will remain in situ where the magnet was. So it will still be able to display what it is you wanted to see. It'll just be in a slightly different place once the magnet's gone and wherever the camera latches to. So if you think you're playing Wamai and you're trying to counter Zero, that won't work. It will just catch them from where they want them to go. They will still remain in situ, as you can see that one there is still very much viewable and usable. But yeah, they will still grab them out of the air as well. So starting with some examples, we're on to Villa and we're attacking the Aviator games. The first thing I love to do is go to this window, and I think I've shown you this before, but stand in this corner here, shoot the bottom right hand corner of this pane, and you're always going to get the default. Then open the window like this. So essentially replace that default cam with an Argus cam, and that's your Astro flank already set up within sort of 15 seconds of the round. Now, on the way round to the other side of the map, we then want to take out the 90 cam and set up our own 90 cam as well. Obviously, destroy the default. Now, if someone's playing 90, this has mixed results, but if not, it works really well. Shoot the cam at sort of as close to the corner of the hatch as you can. Just be careful not to catch it on the window frame, as that does happen sometimes. Once in, now you've got a 90 flank cam. However, you can also get rid of the 90 cam straight away. This cam will likely get destroyed, but it's going to give you some early information on 90, and if it doesn't get destroyed, absolute bonus. The final flank cam I set up straight away. I also take out the default cam here, double tap the top of the barricade, and you can see the cameras there. You can then also set up a main flank as well, and you can also get information onto main. From there, you've now got your main flank cam, and you can see if anyone's playing main. This one actually is, I'll just nip in and show you, if anyone is playing main stairs, it's actually hidden quite well because of the pillar that's there. See how we can see us, but we can't see the cam? So you can see the bottom half, so you can get information there, but because it's hidden under the lip here, it's actually a really good spot for a cam. So yeah, from there, you can then get information onto main. Obviously, they might hear the cam, they may destroy it, but there now, you've got an Astro flank, a 90 cam, and a main stairs cam set up within, like, 30 seconds of a round. The only other thing you've got to worry about really is red stairs, but that's a job for afterwards. Attacking top floor on Kafe now, and this one's tremendous. Open the window here on pillars, and try and get your cam as far into this corner as you can. I think I actually saw Timsy do this first, so credit Timsy. I'm not going to claim this as my own. Get that cam into there. This cam serves two purposes. As Timsy quite explained, it comes under this chair here, so it's really well covered. Obviously, you can see a little bit of heaven, but you can see into piano early doors as well. And obviously, bear in mind, you hit space, and now you've got your brown stairs cam, and also any pillar cam that you need. Hit space again, and you back upstairs into piano. You nip up onto the roof. And once you're going to open your red stairs hatch, get yourself a cam as far into the corner as you can so you can see down the stairs, but roughly there should be fine. There's your red stairs flank. And of course we can nip over to white stairs. I like opening the top of the window here. Now bear in mind, it's quite often someone's going to be top of these stairs, so this one doesn't always work out as well as the others. But bob that up into the corner there. Fingers crossed it doesn't get seen, and that's your white flank. Now if you're attacking kitchen and you want to do a roam clear top floor, that's going to cover that straight away obviously. But straight away there, even if we're attacking top floor, within a couple of minutes, well less than that, sorry, within about sort of 60 seconds or so, you've got 3 cams down on 3 of the busiest parts of the map, and you don't have to worry about having pre-placed drones there. He's so good. So we're on to Coastline here now, and we're on the roof, and you can actually get a really good cam looking at cool vibes from the vent that you would sometimes grenade down. Ping that into the vent there. Have a look down. It doesn't give you a massively clear picture, but you can see if anyone then comes up cool vibes. It's going to act as a sort of flank cam. If there's any ADSs here, you can also shoot the ADSs and then grenade down if somebody is playing cool vibes. You can do the exact same thing with the aqua cam behind the aqua bar. This one's not a particularly good cam, but this one is really useful if somebody wants to grenade down. If someone's playing behind here, you can shoot the ADS or Wamai magnet off the floor or on the wall, and then you can grenade down if need be. This one isn't a particularly good cam. This one is a decent flank cam. You can then go and do exactly the same thing over the top of main stairs, over in the southeast area of the map, exactly what you did on cool vibes. Into the vent, aim sort of as far down as you can without catching it on this lip here. Just there, and that's then going to give you a flank of main stairs. You get a decent view if anyone's going to go up there. You're not going to miss that. Obviously, you've got to be watching it. It's not something you can sort of, you know, flick to every now and then, because somebody coming up here is going to go past pretty quickly. So you've got to make sure you're watching this. But yeah, those 2 flank cams there, you've got cool vibes sorted, and you've got main stairs sorted, and you've not even come off the roof while just placing them there. Unbelievably strong. So we're on to Kanal now, and this one has such a good success rate. It works so well when you're attacking top floor. You've got these windows here that I've seen some people like throw grenades through them in the past. If you aim for the far right-hand side of the right-hand side window on the frame there, just make sure you get it right. Pop that there. This goes unnoticed so often, and look at the view it gives you of the site. The reason it goes unnoticed is because obviously the dark color of the camera blends in with the dark color of the window frame, and that literally almost covers an entire area of the site. Like, that would give you all the information you're ever going to need on this site. So yeah, definitely use that if you can. Just sticking with Kanal, and there's another one here where you can utilize a drone hole really well. There is a drone hole you can look at here, but there's like a scuba tank blocking the way, and you can't really get an angle around there. However, if you come around to the west side of the building, there's a duct, and if you throw your drone through there, I'll show you what you can normally see through the drone. You can see this this area here that people hold whilst holding the scuba window here, and yellow stairs are going to be holding this wall. What you can do is get a decent camera there as well. So you want to try and fire it as low down as possible while still hitting the sort of the side wall. Like that. And then when you use the cam, you can see this whole area and see if anyone's going to be here. It's also an half-decent flank cam, I guess, if you're pushing from trench and main side, because you're going to be able to see this. But if you're trying to clear out this area, they're never going to look here for this cam. So we're on to bank now, and you can get a flank drone set up for archives really early on. Also, a little side note here, if you shoot out the top corner of the window there, you can destroy the default cam like that. So get the rappel up, pop. Obviously you've got a drone top square to make sure you can open this window, but the key thing to remember here is you can't put the camera on the leaves or on the banister. It has to go on the pot. So I normally shoot out one leg of the banister, pop it on the plant pot or whatever you want to call that underneath, and that's your archives cam set up. You don't need to worry about the drone. That's there for the rest of the round. The other side of the map can also be covered as well. Now, since the bank rework, these sort of half moon, half circle shaped windows at the top are now blocked out, and you can't get cameras through the bars here. However, the one that you can do is the top right corner here. So come over and shoot out the middle, get your cam ready, and fire it just up into the corner here. It's going to give you a really, really good overview of the lobby and banana stairs, or whatever you want to call that, lobby stairs. It's good for attacking upstairs or downstairs, just a generally really good cam. We're on to Clubhouse now, and this particular cam has a really high success rate because nobody's really playing construction early on in the round. The only thing you've got to hope for is that there's no denial on this wall. It's not very often this gets bandited or caded, really. It's going to get reinforced, but I don't think it's going to get denialed, or it certainly doesn't very often. I think I just said denialed. That isn't a word. It doesn't get, there's no denial that goes on the wall. Shout out to Poppycock there, because I'm going to leave that in, and Poppy says it's funny when I don't take out the stupid things that I say. So let's keep that in. Anyway, the cam is going in the very top right corner of this soft wall here, or reinforced wall if it's reinforced. It's not very often that somebody's going to be playing in construction early on in the round, so you'll quite often get away with putting this here. If somebody is, then obviously unlucky, but this also works with a gym. The people are playing in construction a little bit more if you're defending gym, but especially with the CCTV and cache site, you're not going to get somebody playing construction early on in the round. So get this in here early doors. Now, I cannot guarantee the success rate of what I'm about to tell you, but it has worked for me in the past. It's dangerous, but it's pretty fun. So when you're attacking CCTV and you've got somebody playing rafters and you need to get them off rafters, they hold all the advantages up there, and it's a really difficult fight to win. Now, assuming you've droned it out and there's no Melusi Banshee or Goo Mine or anything like that that's going to stop you getting in, or Thorn Trap or Capcan or whatever it might be, and you can try and clear that or be aware of it. If you can quick peek and get your Argus cam on the back wall somewhere in this location here, ideally somewhere further that way, but you don't want to peek too far around. So I always aim for this sort of area here, and just get it round. You don't have to ADS, but you can if you want, and get it in there before you get your head taken off. The defender's going to hear the cam activate behind them, and what they will always do is when they're playing rafters, like I say, generally behind panel 2 here, they're going to hear that cam get deployed and they're going to be looking for the cam. Now, ideally, they don't see it straight away and they're going to try and destroy it. At that time, take the time to push in whilst they're distracted finding the cam. Just going to go something like this. Now they're looking for it, and as you push in, you know they're here. And next time they look down, the last place that they think you're going to be is on the garage steps. Obviously, they think you're going to be at the door. Now, it's risky. You might get domed from lobby or pit or bottom garage, whatever you want to call it. You might have someone holding from this area. It's not the easiest play, but it is a way of using the Argus cam slightly differently, and it's worked for me in the past. Like I say, the defender's going to be looking here, and next time they look down at the door, you're not at the door, you're here. So it can work. It's risky, but give it a go. It's good fun. When attacking basements on club, I'm a massive fan of swapping the default cam that's underneath main stairs, which is here, for one of my own cams instead. Now, the default cam is actually underneath this footprint that's closest to the concrete of the stairs. So fire your cam just inside slightly of that. From here, you can then destroy the default cam. Hello, cam. That's the default cam gone. Instead of having a cam at the bottom of main, you've got a cam. You can see what's going on in Moto, and you can see long as well and make calls on that. They generally, 9 times out of 10 for me, nobody looks up that way, and this camera lasts the round. Everyone thinks the default's there. It's not very obvious to see. I really like that one, especially because you get to absolutely take their default out. Taking this out normally is a bit of a nightmare. You've got to cross here. You've got to peek out to Moto slightly. So yeah, being able to do that whilst not giving them any info on main, but getting the info yourself is quality. So there we go, sum 0 up. For me, as I said at the beginning of the video, the most well-rounded and best attacker in the game at the moment. He can do everything. 4 cameras, which can destroy utility, a Gon 6 to destroy shields or Melusi Banshees, and also the hard breach charges on top of 2 really, really, really good weapons. The only thing that I think lets 0 down a little bit is, for how good he is, he's not that useful if you're solo queuing and your team aren't communicated. If you're in a stack, I'm tempted to say I would take a 0 almost every round. If you can get your cams in good locations, it's insane. I'm going to bang it in at the end of this video this time. Do me a favor, if you like the video, if you enjoyed the content, subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing and it makes me day. Cheers. And as always, I only did 0 because someone requested it. If there's an operator you want to see or something about Siege that you want to learn about, get it in the comments below and I'll put it on the list to do. So one more time, thank you again for helping me get to YouTube partner. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.